group game. I think we've been playing a lot of that for like over a year, and that hasn't gotten old. Like Among Us got old so fast for me. Like I just didn't give a shit anymore who the fucking spy was or the imposter was. I didn't even want to be the imposter anymore.
I
was
want to
tired
be the
of connecting
imposter
wires
so that I don't have to connect wires.
Yes, that was the only reason. Like, and that game had legs if the little tasks weren't so fucking boring.
They're terrible. And also they make you keep doing them after you're dead.
Yeah. No, I should be able to quit these stupid tasks. That should be my consolation prize.
Exactly.
Not having to do this. I should, like, the only fun part of that game is riffing with your friends. That's it. Like,
even that, I mean, the game is like designed to make arguments and enemies.
And that's the only fun part. I'm saying, like, it's fun to
you can have
do
that
the
part.
arguments, to have the enemies.
I'm much more on like zombies, for example, where you're all on the same team.
Yeah. Well, I prefer that, I guess, overall, but a little bit of strife, conflict, that can be fun. As long as everybody knows you're fucking around. Sorry, go ahead, Blame Truth.
Hot take, Trouble in Terrorist Town's better than Among Us as far as like the trader games go.
I've never played that.
Gmod? You ever played that?
Nuh-uh.
Man,
Yeah.
Terrorist Town?
Yeah, I played a good bit.
Yeah.
We used to play a lot of Gmod stuff. It was okay. My problem was, like, when you're in the imposter, like, I was brand new to mouse and keyboard at the time. That might have been my first mouse and keyboard game. And I was just like, even as the imposter, I was like, oh my God, I don't think I can hit these guys. They're moving around pretty fast. like I was really struggling, like, being able to shoot people because I was so brand new to mouse and keyboard.
I got a new computer. It's still in the box.
Oh, nice.
I didn't want to set everything up like the day before Painkiller Already and put it at risk, but I'll probably do it tomorrow. So
awesome.
What is it?
So it's the new AMD chip, the 5950X, and one of the newer NVIDIA cards, the 3800. What it is? Is that right? Or 3080,
I think.
30. Yeah, that's right. 3080. Yeah. I'm awful.
That's a good card.
Yeah, so I was gonna get the 3090, which is their top one right now, and I watched the Tech Jesus people, Gamers Nexus, something like that. Do you know this YouTube channel?
No, but I know NVIDIA cards, and like the top of the line is usually marginally better.
I always get the top one, but in this case, it's nearly double the price. They were talking about 2 frames per second better, something very slim.
That's how it is every time. Yeah.
The game I'm into right now is CPU bound, so it might not even help. It might help zero, literally zero. Yeah. And the Nexus people, they just made it seem like you were stupid if you bought it. Like I was like, this is me. I game a lot, right? I play a lot of hours per week, and I've saved up some money, so I'm like, I'm the target audience for this 3090. I should be getting the 3090. That's what I'm all about. And then, like, this guy is like, a stupid person would buy this. This isn't even for gamers. This is a workstation card for people that need lots of computational. It's not even a gaming card. They're just marketing it as such. And I just felt like I always had this concern that a fool and his money are soon parted, right? I've saved some money. Cool. But not enough that I can make financial mistakes for the next 30 years and still be okay. So I'm always on the lookout for, like, who's trying to separate me from my cash. And I'm like, I think I want the 3080. It would be the same price roughly to get a 3080 and then like a 4080 next year. And I'll be in a better spot than perhaps to get a 3090 right now.
Yeah. 3080 Ti's just got announced.
Nice.
Did it?
Yeah.
I'll probably get one and build a new PC or just buy one.
Maybe.
I'll probably get one, like, when they're plentiful and the price is reduced. Like in the summer, whenever.
Yeah, I might get one. I might wait for the next one. I'm not sure. As a Tarkov guy, I probably won't get one. It's so CPU limited, bottlenecked, dependent. Sure, that it'd probably be a waste of money unless I switch games. Yeah,
I'm gonna play a lot of different games. I'm really interested in that Warhammer 40K game that's coming out. That looks so fucking good.
That trailer looks. I'm not even that big of a gamer, honestly, but looking at that trailer and knowing how much fun I had in Vermintide, that's going to be an absolute blast. We're going to have fun playing that.
We are going to play that a lot. That trailer got me hyped. That game
has me hyped. The music was good.
The music was good. The gameplay looked good. Taylor, say that again, please. I cut you off.
That's Blame Truth. Have you heard of this game? Warhammer, what is it, 40K?
Something Tide.
I was actually looking it up right now.
Raid Tide or
dude,
I'm gonna find
it's if you know Vermintide, it's the next one,
the 40K version of it.
But you could call it like a really current Left 4 Dead, but you fight more zombies monsters than zombies.
Yeah, so
but,
you got
the idea of 4 people co-op going from one side of the map to the other. Dark Tide, okay. And it looks amazing. I can't wait to get it. It's a buy new PC kind of game if it requires it, although it probably doesn't.
That's the trailer, by the way. Blame Truth if you want to watch it later or something.
Yeah, it's fucking sick looking.
I'm looking at screenshots right now. It's pretty
Have you ever played Vermintide?
Mm-mm.
So Vermintide is like a 4-player co-op. You play these different classes. It's like it's like hack and slash, and you're facing massive hordes of. I don't know if you know anything about Warhammer at all, but one of the races you fight against are the Skaven, which are these rat men. So you're just hacking through endless waves of rat men. It's a lot like Left 4 Dead in that there are like special rat men. So there'll be like a giant rat man with a machine gun arm, and there'll be like a rat sorcerer who's going to cast a spell on you, and all sorts of shit like that. And you're trying to unlock better and better weapons and gadgets as you go. And like one of us is the dwarf, and one's the elf, and one is the human, and one's the wizard. And
I'm watching gameplay from this trailer, and I'm already sold. Yeah,
yeah.
It looks like Left 4 Dead mixed with like an action RPG or something. Yeah,
Vermintide's out now. It's the fantasy version of the Warhammer universe. It's like olden times in an alternate universe where muskets and magic and bows and arrows and axes and swords and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I said, one of us was a dwarf, one's an elf, one's a man, and one's a wizard. But on the 40K version, it's like 40. It's the year 40,000. So like humanity has completely colonized the galaxy, and instead of like fantasy shit like elves and dwarves, those things are still represented, but they're represented by mutants and aliens. That we've encountered on all these worlds. And so that's what's going on in this new game.
Or it'll be like, oh yeah, there's still dwarves, but it's dwarves in the year 40,000. So instead of having the best trebuchets, they have the ultimate machine gun work through or whatever.
One thing about the Imperium of Man in the 40K universe is they're incredibly xenophobic to the point where like, I was wondering, like, wait a minute, how are we playing as like? I didn't know what those things were, the classes that are represented in the new Dark Tide game, because there's like a big hulking human and like a little dwarf-like human, and so I did some research. Those are mutated humans who have been mutated by living on colonized planets with tons of gravity.
So that guy's just
strong,
8 feet tall,
insanely muscular.
He's a big giant human who has evolved on a planet with like tons of gravity, where being an intelligence was not a strong suit. So his race in particular is essentially like retarded. The smartest of them, it said, the ones who get like special armor and like elite status, can count to 10.
Not bad.
Like those are the ones that get like the good armor and like get to be commanders if they can count to 10.
It seems to be working for him because they were a lot more imposing than the rest of the people.
Enormous. He's just enormous. He looks like he's 8 foot tall, 450 pounds of muscle.
That's who I want to play. Always want to play the tank. It gives you the most leeway for being the worst.
Yeah,
this is true. Yeah, I might just get Vermintide. I'm still rocking a 1070 in my rig. It should be able to handle that.
It's an older game. Yeah, it works fine on my 1080 Ti.
Okay.
Yeah, we played a shitload of Vermintide until I had like gotten everything I could get and beat it on the hardest difficulty and like unlocked all the. It's hard unlocking weapons in that game. Weapons have rarity, and the rarer the weapon is, the better it is. It makes sense, but to like, you have to play on a hard difficulty to even have a 2% chance of getting a rare weapon at the end of a raid. And so like.
It's like if you succeed every 30 minutes, you have a 2% chance.
Yeah.
So buckle up. You're going to be doing this for a while.
Like, I think, I don't know how many hours, I don't want to log into Steam right now and look, but like, I would guess that I have somewhere between 200 and 300 hours in this game, and I think I have 3 legendary items, maybe 4 in 300 hours.
And that's a lot of legendary. That means like your kit is pretty much entirely legendary.
Yeah.
That's the red ones.
Orange or amber, depending on your monitor settings. Mine's always kind of more yellowish than everyone else's.
I can never tell how long I've been playing a game on Steam because I'll leave games open for days and it'll be like, I've played this for 5,000 hours.
That's how my Tarkov is. I started playing Escape from Tarkov in February. I have over 6,000 hours in it.
That's how it was for Warhammer 2, the more RTS game, is I would just keep it open on my gaming laptop and it would say like 7,000, 8,000 hours played. And I'm like, that's just the amount of time that's passed since March. Like,
Yeah.
I think I've played.
I was wrong. I got 192 hours.
Okay.
Close, though.
Yeah, but still,
You
it's
didn't bust.
huge grind. But it's co-op, so it's really fun to play with your friends because you're like, each of your characters kind of complements everyone else's. There's a lot of synergistic stuff going on where like, oh yeah, I have this ability that'll heal us all a little bit, or oh yeah, when I shoot these arrows, everyone has a job. Like everyone knows what their job is.
It's nice to play with friends. I don't know if you play with strangers very much, but I played more with strangers. Never. And so like no one runs the help the strangers attributes, but those are very important. They're a big deal. It's all kind of everyone out for himself. Everyone wants to be the kill leader, even though kill leader is maybe not the most important person on the team, right?
Probably not.
Sometimes not. But playing with a team, like maybe Kyle's really adept at handling hordes of people, and someone else does a huge one-shot damage, and he's better for the bosses. And you can just be like,
much how it went. Is like my character, the flail guy, was more just like go in the thick of it and take a bunch of damage and make sure that nobody is bothering Kyle, who's going to do a tremendous amount of DPS, I get damage per second, to the specials. So if Kyle can his character with the crazy bow can focus in on all the specials, and me and the dwarf, was Woody at one point, we just absorb all the hits and keep the horde at bay. Like that was the strategy.
I had no range weapon, so I would often be like, Kyle, assassin,
get him.
Yeah.
By the end, I switched to the dwarf that could go invisible and did like huge amounts of one-hit damage, and I could kill the bosses and like by myself. Sometimes
the elf
it was
that did the one.
Yeah, it was so fun.
Oh, I was like invisible dwarf.
I should have said elf. You were stacking like so many bonus multipliers that you were just doing huge amounts of damage. Really fun game.
It almost got not fun where you would be like, all right, a summoning lizard person is about to come down. Taylor, you just go kill all the Skaven and the armored guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and he's dead. All right, and it's gone. And he's gone.
I like it. So I had a ranked up human, Marcus Kruber, and then I switched to my dwarf, and I had fun being weak. Like that was enjoyable for me. It was like, all right, guys, I'm gonna need an adult here because I'm in a hot spot.
I liked my guy because the more damage he took, the more damage he dealt. And so if people are like, you're taking so much damage, I'd be like, it's tactics. It's not because I'm bad at blocking.
It's a fun game. When's the next one come out?
Sometime next year. Who knows?
Probably late next year.
Yeah, probably like a Christmas special. Which,
who knows? Maybe we'll get a nice surprise, like a March release of that game. That would be a blast.
The good content comes on Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to like Warhammer.
You guys all
3?
know I'm talking about Belle Delphine, right?
Oh yeah, it's all about that.
All right.
Warhammer 3. You're talking about the new RTS.
Yeah, the new RTS,
and that's 40K also, right? Like
no, that's fantasy.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I'm in for it then. I wouldn't want to play that kind of structured game with guns. It wouldn't make any sense in like the battle plan format.
I mean, there are guns, like there's plenty of guns, but they're like,
well, but it's like the dwarf gun where it's a blunderbuss they have where the range is severely limited.
Like, it's not like machine guns usually. I mean, there are some machine guns, I guess. There's like rattling gunners. There's all sorts of crazy. They've added a lot of shit lately. Like the Skaven have gotten a lot better. I haven't played in a bit, but After this rust kick, I may try. I may try.
Skaven need to get better. The Skaven were already a really good faction.
They added Clan Molder, which is like all these big fucking giant monsters.
That's what Skaven needed. Big monsters.
Yeah, now they have big monsters. They made the Skaven so good. Now the Skaven have big monsters, the best guns in the game, the best mortars in the game, and also they gave them like wolf rats, which are like these speedy little units you can send out to like chase things off the battlefield. And
is there artillery better than dwarves now?
Dwarves were always just like one dimensional. That's their thing. Like they're the easiest thing to play because
their dimension is defensive.
Yeah. It's super high armor, super high leadership, so they don't quit fighting. They don't die easily. They just stand there and take a beating for a long time for a cheap amount of gold. But they're pretty easily countered. If you know fight against a dwarf box, then you defeat the dwarf box.
Yeah, I mean you can beat a dwarf box. Like I remember I played the Beastmen a good bit. Or no, what was it? The Chaos Warriors? That's the one. And they had like. Them and the Beastmen had this cheap ass unit that was shitty at everything, but they had armor piercing. And so all you would need to do if you're up against dwarves was like make like a little like 4-string of those guys, and they would do a tremendous amount of damage on their own. And then you could just follow up or just flank them with spider riders and shit like that.
Chariots are the downfall of the dwarves every time. Chariots and really any like long range armor piercing. If you can out.
I guess their only like anti-large is a couple of artillery things, and then the
Thunderers, I think,
or whatever.
Oh, the Slayers.
Yeah, they're anti-large.
Yeah, Slayers and Dragonback Slayers. I like playing dwarves, but you don't get better playing the dwarves, so I try not to.
Yeah, I just pick the factions that I think are the coolest looking. So, like, the one I played the most by far was Lizardmen because I liked the way their characters looked the most.
That's the best beginner thing to start with. You'll actually learn how to play, and they're very well balanced and kind of straightforward. I don't know. They're simple to use.
The only shitty part, about Lizardmen, the only part I hated was their stupid frenzy thing where you just can't control a battalion anymore because they get a certain level of leadership lost. But the vampires is fun. The pharaohs or whatever that is. The Tomb Kings, they're really fun. And the Beastmen are pretty awesome.
Beastmen are the worst faction. They're the oldest one, and they're the one that's been in there the longest without an update. So they've fallen way behind. Everything else, all the other races have gotten these updates with better units and better magic and stuff. And
well, when I'm saying best, I just mean like I'll look through
they're fucking cool
options and like I'll pick whatever the coolest ones are and try and use.
It's a bunch of minotaurs and cowmen who just like run ape shit into the enemy with like double axes and crazy stuff like that.
That's why the Lizardmen are so sick.
Their mounted units are just Centigores. Like they're just 4-legged men. Like there's just not a guy on a horse. Like their cavalry is just some like 4-legged horsemen.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, that's enough nerd shit.
You guys may call it a show?
Yep, Blame Truth. Tell the people where they can go to find all your wonderful content.
YouTube.com/Blame Truth. Channel's popping off right now. Get on the wagon.
The Codfather.
I like that. All right. Any outros?
No, sir.
PKA 522.